All right, let's talk about one of the biggest and maybe most misunderstood markets on the entire planet, Forex. By the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly what it is. And you might be surprised to find out you've probably already been a part of it.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with the most basic question of all. What on earth is Forex? I mean, you hear the term thrown around all the time, but what does it actually mean?
Well, in a nutshell, Forex is just short for foreign exchange. Think of it as this giant worldwide marketplace where all the world's currencies are constantly being bought and sold. It's a place where if you think one currency is about to get stronger against another, you can make a trade on that belief.
Now, here's the fun part. You've almost certainly taken part in this massive market, probably without even giving it a second thought. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Just think back to the last time you went on a trip, right? You got off the plane, you're all excited to go explore a new country.
What's one of the very first things you had to do? You probably walked right up to one of those currency exchange booths, handed over your home currency, and got back a wallet full of local cash.
And that price you saw flashing on the screen, the one that told you how many euros you get for your dollars or how many yen you get for your pounds, that is called an exchange rate. And that simple number is the absolute heart of the Forex market. It's what defines the value of one currency against another.
So, in the language of trading, what you did at that airport booth was a classic Forex transaction. If you're an American visiting Tokyo, you literally sold your US dollars in order to buy Japanese yen. And boom, just like that, you've traded on the Forex market. Seriously, that simple act of swapping one currency for another is the exact same thing that happens millions of times a second all across the globe.
So, okay, that's the basic idea. But how does that simple exchange you make for a vacation turn into a way for people to actually try and make money? Well, let's get into the profit principle. See, the key thing to understand is that those exchange rates aren't set in stone. They are constantly changing every single second based on global supply and demand. And it's inside those tiny, constant movements that the opportunity for profit exists.
Unlike when you get money for your holiday, most of the trading on the Forex market is purely speculative. Traders aren't buying a currency to go shopping with it. No, they're buying it because they believe its value is going to go up compared to another currency, which would let them sell it back later for a profit.
Now, to really understand Forex, you have to get a sense of its incredible, almost unbelievable scale. We're not just talking about a big market. This is, by far, the largest financial market in the entire world. So let's put this in perspective. Think about the stock market, the New York Stock Exchange, right? It's a household name. On an average day, it handles a massive amount of trading, somewhere around $20 billion. Now get ready for this. The daily trading volume on the Forex market, it's not in the billions. It is a mind-blowing $7.5 times trillion every single day. And yes, that's trillion with a T. And this chart just says it all. The daily volume of the Forex market absolutely dwarfs the world's biggest stock markets combined. It's not even a close competition. We're talking about a completely different league. But hold on, that huge $7.5 trillion number can be a little bit misleading if you're thinking about this as an individual trader. It's really important to know who exactly is moving all that cash around. You see, the vast majority of that trading, we're talking over 95% of it, is done by the huge players. We're talking central banks, massive corporations, hedge funds. The slice of the pie that belongs to people like us, the individual or retail traders, is actually pretty small. But let's be clear, even that small slice for retail traders is estimated to be somewhere between $200 and $300 billion a day. So even though we're a small piece of the pie, it's still an absolutely enormous market, way bigger than any stock exchange on the planet. Okay, so we know it's massive, but there's another thing that makes Forex totally unique. Unlike a stock market that has an opening and a closing bell, the Forex market, well, it's pretty much always open for business.
That's right. From Sunday evening all the way through to Friday afternoon, you can trade Forex. It doesn't shut down for the night. Instead, the center of trading just moves from one major financial hub to the next as the world turns.
The trading day literally follows the sun around the globe. It kicks off in Wellington, New Zealand, then it passes to Sydney, then Tokyo, on to Frankfurt and London, and finally it lands in New York. And just as the New York session is closing, things are already starting to wake up again back in Wellington, and the whole cycle begins again. So let's just quickly recap.
We figured out what the Forex market is, this massive 24-hour global market for swapping currencies. We know it's all driven by those constantly changing exchange rates. And you even know that you've probably already been a trader yourself. But this brings us to the next big, obvious question. When you sit down to trade Forex, what are you actually trading? It's not like buying a piece of a company. And that is exactly what we are going to break down in the next part of this series. I'll see you there.